Everybody, welcome back to a new episode of POVs and here on the Review Nerds channel. And today, this is my review of Season 2 of Voltron, Legendary Defender. This season picks up where the last one left off. The team gets separated, and they have their own little adventures, and for the most part, they're pretty fun and cool. What I like about this season is what they're carrying over. Just like in the first one, they're not waiting for Zarkon to show up and attack. They are going on the offensive. They're doing this as they did through last season, making new allies and coming up with strategies, though they are still being cautious because Zarkon has a greater numbers, so, they gotta be very smart about this. One of the new allies they make are a group called the Blade of Marmora, which are very interesting because, well, they're a secret group of Galra who are against Zarkon and have been around for hundreds of years trying to come up with a way to take him down. And now that Voltron's here, they may or may not want to team up with them and try to finally bring the ultimate fight to Zarkon. So it makes things a little interesting because the two groups have the same goal, but they're not exactly very trusting of each other. This also leads to some character development for some of our heroes, which I'll get into. And as for how the season closes out, well, there's a huge, big battle with Zarkon and his forces, and I gotta say, it's pretty good. It's pretty exciting. I really enjoyed it. It's the Voltron Force one-on-one with Zarkon. Hagrid's throwing magic, Laura and Karan in the Castle Alliance ship. They're coming at it, doing what they can for it. It's pretty much an all-out battle. It has some pretty tense moments here and there, which really make go like, oh man, are they gonna pull this off? I hope it doesn't. Last season ended kind of like on a sad note, but no, it was pretty exciting, and I really recommend you check it out, if just for that scene, because it was good. First, I want to talk about Shiro. Shiro's struggle this season comes from his bond with the Black Lion, and who else has a bond with it? As it was heavily indicated, like in Season 1, mostly towards the end, Zarkon was unfortunately the original paladin of the Black Lion, and more unfortunately, he's still bonded with it. So that becomes a problem for Shiro. He has to increase and strengthen his bond with the Black Lion because Zarkon is trying to take it away from him. If Zarkon takes the Black Lion, they're screwed because there goes Voltron. Things do change up this season for Keith, which is a good thing because he really didn't get any development last season. We see that he has some kind of knife that is connected to the Blade of Marmora group, which leads us to find that his family, despite the fact that they're supposed to be humans, are connected to it, which means the Voltron Paladins weren't the first ones to encounter alien life. They really don't get too much detail into the background. It's more of a Keith having his fiery passion to figure out who he is, where his family comes from. We don't get a lot, but we get enough to make things interesting for him. Next we have Laura. In this season, sorry to say, she still doesn't become a Voltron Paladin like she did in the original show. But that's okay, because like I said, she's a very strong woman, really good leader for the Paladins, and just a very nice character. Her problems come with this season is, well, she doesn't like the Galra. And who can blame her? The Galra Empire destroyed her civilization. And when she finds out that Keith is connected to them, and not only that, but they have to team up with the Blade of Marmora to take down Zarkon, she's very distrustful for a good part of the season, and it leads her down a path that she has to decide, are all the Galra bad? Can I trust the Blade? Can I trust Keith? It's a matter of prejudice and racism. Paige really doesn't get a lot of development this season, in fact, very little. The most he gets this season is that through his line, he becomes more in tune with the natural universe. And since he's the computer guy, the tech guy of the group, that's a little interesting for him. They really don't develop it much, which I kind of wish they did, but it was a nice little touch for him. Lance and Hunk, neither one really get much development this season. More unfortunate for Lance because he didn't get any last season himself. But Lance is still fun and goofy, and his, always trying to look good for the ladies and hitting on Laura. It's fun at times, Hunk's still fun as he was in last season. Still a bit of a scaredy cat here and there, but always down for the fight. The only thing I'll say that's getting annoying about him is that, we get it. He's the fat one. He's hungry all the time. Okay, do we have to fit that into every episode where Hunk is hungry? We get it. I mean, just pull back a little bit. It's getting annoying. Karan, unfortunately, is back to where he was towards the beginning of Season 1. As I said in my last review, Karan in the original series was more of the stern mentor type. He's still a mentor type in this show, but he's also the clown of the group. And in season one, where he kind of mellowed out towards the end, in season two, he's pretty consistent, and I gotta say, it gets annoying. I wouldn't mind it as much if it wasn't for the fact that we get enough comedic, moments from Lance and Hunk and the way they interact with the other characters. But with Karan, it's just like over the top and unneeded. I don't hate his character, but he does get annoying at times. In season one, we didn't get to know much about Zarkon, except for that he is quite the damn badass, especially compared to the original Zarkon from the first show. But this season, we get to see that because he was the original paladin of the Black Line, he is obsessed with it. His desire to track down the Voltron force, or the paladin, sorry, I'm old school, and get the Black Lion back really messes with him. He's so obsessed with getting the Black Lion back, he's really making poor decisions. As for Voltron and the Lions, Voltron does get a few new weapons this season, just a few. The Lions get a few more weapons and upgrades themselves. Nothing too huge, a few interesting ones. The Yellow Lion gets some additional armor and claws. The Green Lion gets a laser that covers shit in vines or roots. Magic technology, what can you say? And other stuff like that. We also see towards the end of the season that because of the bonding between Shiro and the Black Lion, this unleashes a new technique that for the Black Lion could be very helpful in the future. Okay, I'm going to get into a few spoilers here, so if you don't want to know about this and just want my final thoughts, click the link to skip ahead to the end. So, as it is shown in the trailer and is talked about in this season, Shiro tells Keith that if something were ever to happen to him, that he wants him to take over as leader of the Voltron Paladins. This makes sense, especially since, like, in the original show, Keith was always the leader of the group. And you kind of get the idea here that eventually that shift will happen. And it does. In the final battle against Zarkon, Shiro somehow unleashes the Black Lion's angel wings or something, I don't know, is able to take back the Black Paladin Bayard from Zarkon and unlock more power in Voltron, and are able to defeat Zarkon via that. Unfortunately, unlocking this new power, something happens to Shiro. He disappears out of the cockpit. There's no sign of him. Just gone. So this pretty much means the next season Keith will be the leader. And that'll be interesting because Keith, I never really got him as the leader type because he's little hot-headed. He's just always in it. Let's just go in, fight, take him out. But in the course of the season, he does see some shifts in him where he does like tell a joke, which he really didn't do in the first season. So you see he's kind of like really thinking things out. Now, also at the end of this, it is announced that another character from the original series will be coming back in Season 3, assuming it gets greenlit, which I hope it does. And that's going to be Prince Lotor. This could get really interesting. I really would like to see what they're going to do with the Prince when he's brought in. They've made so many changes to the series. So many changes to the series compared to the original one, and most of them are good. Most of them typically I would find annoying, but they've done them in a well enough way where I'm very accepting. It's probably mostly because, guys, if you go back and watch the original Voltron, really not a lot of depth to it, and the routine of each episode back and back, so, oh, monster shows up, they kill it, Zarkon this. So I think that's why I'm more accepting of the changes. And I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with Lotor. I assume, just like the original, he's going to develop some thick stalker crush on Alora. Maybe Alora and Keith are going to start a thing. Who knows? I think they did start a thing in the original show, like when they did the New Adventures of Voltron, which I don't think lasted that long. But yeah, other things I'd like to see in Season 3. Finally, I'd like to see Pidge, like, find his brother or his father or somebody. Find them. I mean, they show more indications that he's found some new evidence that they're still out there somewhere, but I would like something a little more advancement along that storyline. Other things I want to see, a little more development with Hunk, and definitely a lot of development with Lance. There's not really much to Lance. He's just kind of a goof of the group. But, you know, even goofs can have some stuff to them. That's what I want to see. Also, next season, even though in this one, they did have several battles with Voltron against giant creatures, which was a problem of mine in last season, which they didn't have a lot. In this one, they have like 3 or 4, which is pretty satisfying for me personally. And this season, I think they only had like 1 or 2 more episodes than the last season. So in the next one, I would like to see these 1 or 2 more giant battles between Voltron and a Robeast, which they do officially in this season call them Robeasts. They're robot beasts. Simple enough. Alright guys, those are my thoughts on Voltron Legendary Defender Season 2. And it's pretty good. I think they really carried along some of the themes of the first season, brought it over, advanced certain characters, not all the characters, but enough to keep an interesting story and dialogues going. So would I recommend you go check it out? Yes, go ahead. Log into your Netflix and start watching them episodes. Well, anyway, that's all I've got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please let me know what you're thinking down in the comments. Good, bad, agree, disagree, whatever you got. And subscribe to the Review of the Nerds channel. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.